Hello guys. I know hope you've been enjoying my 12 days of Christmas, and as luck would have it, today is our card class day. So our online card class happens once a month, and we're going to make 3 fancy fold cards using the Peace on Earth stamp set. So let's get started. Now, my name is Kay Cogbill. My business is called Paper Made Prettier. And I've just finished up a series of 12 Days of Christmas, so I hope you got to see those. And we are going to make these 3 fancy folds. So I always like to do something fun for the last card class of December. And I wouldn't say that I would use the word fun to describe thinking of you cards. So we're calling them fancy, okay? So these are some fancy fold cards. This is a nice thinking of you card. I just love this straight sympathy. Like sometimes you just need a straight sympathy card. And then just for other things, we've got prayers. So ironically, not ironically, but interestingly, this was the first stamp set I bought from the holiday catalog. And it's called Peace on Earth. But you would obviously love the Peace on Earth and the Peace, Love, Joy for Christmas. But it really has some great thinking of you sentiments in there. And the other thing that we're using in this class is the, it's called Brushed with Beauty Designer Paper. And I think I've covered up my printout here, but it is in the online exclusives from November. So it is a very gorgeous set of designer paper. The whole suite is called Brushed with Beauty, but it's got corals, mossy meadow. You've seen it a lot in some of my projects. Make sure and stay to the end because I've got a whole pile of projects made with it. All right, so let's get started with our first fancy fold. I'm sure I'll call it fun fold at least once during this video. So I saw this layout. Honestly, I was like, oh, fancy folds in December. It's going to take so much time. This was one of the fastest classes I've done in a while because these are simple cards. They just fold fancy. So for December, we love simple because some of us are busy. And we also need sympathy cards. So, and thinking of you cards. So what I've got is a Nested Essentials die cut. And you're going to score it a little bit. I don't even remember what this measurement was. 1 1/4 or something like that. So you're going to score it. And you're centering your stamp between that score line and this edge. Okay. So I'm actually using, we used pecan pie last night, but I'm going to use early espresso. It looks like that's what I actually used on the demo card. So, but either will work. They're both pretty. And you need to make sure and put it on the left-hand side of that. And then we're going to get our adhesives, which, where are my, oh, they're right next to me. Okay. So we are going to have a little piece of Very Vanilla that goes inside of our card. And we're going to pop that down with some adhesive to the back of that. And then this piece of Very Vanilla is going to get attached to our card base on the inside. Okay, so I guess you'd also, I think I've heard this one called a hinge fold because this is like a hinge. And then I've cut off a little bit of the front. Now, anytime you're watching my online card class, this is free for you to watch. The measurements for my class are also free for anyone that is one of my email subscribers. So I'll put the link to subscribe to my email here so you'll get all the cutouts and measurements to make these cards at home. But if you want to plus it up even more and give yourself a gift, then put an order in with me of $35 or more, and you're going to get all 6 card kits. So 2, 2, and 2, 2 of each card, mailed to you for free. Okay? And that's orders between now and Monday, which I think is the 20th. So that's my card class special. And then we're going to use, I bet you those things got buried. But yeah, I'm not seeing them. Let me look over here. the embellishments. We are using, they're called Pearls of Beauty, and they are like crumb cake, calypso coral, and white, okay? And they go with this Brush with Beauty suite, but you can see the crumb cake ones look really great here on the Heartfelt Prayers card. So there's card number 1. Card number 2, I don't know what you'd call this, maybe an accordion fold card, but this piece is actually a 4 1/4 by 11, so you can get 2 out of 1 card. And we're going to fold this like so. Dig around here for a bone folder, which I've had so many, and then now there's none. Let me look over here where I was last night. Hold on. So you do need a bone folder when you're doing a Fancy Folds class, especially this one. And you're going to really crease it up good on those folds because that's how you get it to lay flat. So give it a nice good crease. And your card kit will already come scored. So all you have to do is add all your pieces just like I'm doing. So we're going to have a little piece of that Brushed with Beauty here. And then we're going to go with our next piece here. And then our final piece of that Brushed with Beauty paper is there. All right, so then you've got your little accordion that's gorgeous. And you can write on this panel. We didn't put white on there, but if you want to, you could. And then I sometimes do this. So this was not a standard size card. I didn't want to just send this. So I attached it to just a card base sized piece of crumb cake cardstock. And I didn't necessarily love that it was just blank. So sometimes I do this, and I think this is very cute. But you can use your sentiment as a stamp in the background. So we're going to use this stamp that says, Big Hugs for a Good Friend. And we're going to stamp it in Mossy Meadow. And we're just going to get some big hugs for a good friend around the edge here. It doesn't matter if someone can't read it because they're going to read it on the front of the card. So this is just kind of a filling in the blanks. And you don't have to put it in the center because this is going to get stuck down to the center, obviously. And since this is a moving part, I'm going to be generous with my Stampin' Seal Plus and really give it a good stick. And then that's going to go here. And the last thing I'm going to do for this card is take my little circle and we're going to stamp that with Mossy Meadow. And important, you only want to attach your circle on the left-hand side to your moving part. So you're going to put, I just go ahead and put my dimensionals right here. That helps me remember not to put dimensionals on the right-hand side because that would keep your card from opening and closing. And then we're going to put 3 white pearls on here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So you've got those gorgeous pearls on that card. And then my final card is I call it a fancy fold. I call this the book fold. I don't know what it's called in real life, but Kay calls it the book fold. Hi, Carol. You'll recognize these projects from last night. Carol's one of my lucky stamp card class attendees. with her sweet daughter. All right, so I have used the Glass and Gardens embossing folder. This comes from the Celebratory Sips online exclusives. It's a 2-part embossing folder. It's got one with flowers and one with these little, what do you call those? Notches, squares, grids. Anyway, so you've got that little part that's embossed. Now, this piece is 4 by 5.5. Okay, and then that way I can get 6 out of one piece of designer paper. So you're going to tap it like this and line it up with this edge, and you're going to have a little extra here, and that's fine. You're going to take your adhesive and only put it on this outside edge of the book spine, if this were a book, okay? And then that paper is the front, okay? And this still looks good, and I love it because you can see both sides of the paper. So you do need, if you're making a card like this, you kind of need to pay attention to what the inside looks like as well. And then, of course, we'll put a little piece of vanilla inside here for the writing. And then I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow again with the stamp that says, "With deepest sympathy." And give that a stamp, and then we're going to stick that straight down because we decided that we didn't need dimensionals on sympathy. And we also decided not to embellish this card because, I don't know, sometimes I think embellishments and sympathy just don't match. Pearls are fine, but we decided not to. All right, so 6 cards in a flash. You can see how quickly this comes together. Sadly, we still need thinking of you cards this time of year. People still get sick. People still pass. And these are easy and quick cards for you to make. I do want to remind you about my 12 Days of Christmas videos. So go back and watch those. I've got I'll flash them in front of you, but you can go watch all of my videos to see these cute cards and how to make them. Here's a little gift card holder, some tags, some cute Christmas cards from the Paper Pumpkin, another baking card, this was from that same Brushed with Beauty. This one is called Snowy Delights, so gorgeous. My final project was made with the Stay Warm, and this is the Product of the Month Designer Series paper. So if you are shopping and your cart gets anywhere close to 50, something like that, which is easy to do, you need to consider upping it to 75 so that you can get the opportunity to purchase this Product of the Month designer paper for only $5, okay? Basically free. That's how much you would spend on a cup of coffee. And anyway, I used it to make this cute Christmas card as well. And then another Christmas project is my hot chocolate holder. All right. So you will want to go and watch all those videos and just get some good ideas for the holidays or for even for next year. Here's another card I made with that Product of the Month. Hues, let's see, it's called True Blue Hues Designer Series paper. $5 when you purchase 75 or more. And then I want to show you my latest projects. If you haven't received your spring catalog, mine will be in the mail shortly. But there are so many cute things. These are the projects we're going to be making at my bingo party, which is January 4th. I'll get the link up for that here very soon. If you don't see it in this, it is in my email. So you definitely need to subscribe to my email because the link to sign up is already there. These are the spring catalog samples that I've already made. Such gorgeous things to enjoy. And finally, if you were able to purchase the 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar, it's still available if you weren't, and you can do the 12 days still leading up to Christmas and maybe go a few days later or start on Christmas. It doesn't matter. Everyone loves a surprise. So I've made some projects with all the days of the 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar. And I've got working on tutorials for each one of these projects. And when you spend 75 or more with me, you're going to get the Product of the Month. But you're also going to get these tutorials to make these Advent calendar projects. So there will be 12 in all. I haven't made all 12 yet. But to recap, when you put orders of $35 or more online with me, you're going to get all 6 of these Fun Fold card kits to create your own Fun Fold cards. All you do is add the stamps, okay? The stamp set we used, again, is called Peace on Earth. So that could be something you could order. When you spend $50 or more online, you're going to get a free embellishment. This is by the 20th. And when you order $75 or more from me, you're going to get the product of the month plus the 12 Advent calendar tutorials. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. And I haven't decided about next week, but watch my Facebook page and I'll post if we're going to have a video on Christmas Eve or not. All right. Thanks. Bye.